Hello, my name is Potwasher. I play for the amateur team Crimson Fencers, and I'm here to review week 3 of the NGE Open. And I played only 6 games. I got knocked out round 2, and I played pretty poorly, I feel like. I just got knocked out, so I'll be reviewing these replays live. I haven't really looked at these very much. I just got done playing with them, and I feel like I really didn't play very well, so I'm gonna be reviewing these games and trying to see what I could have done better. I really felt like I could have won the second round, especially. So this should be a very good learning experience for myself and hopefully for anyone watching. Round 1, I faced Skysama from Team Mana Surge. Very strong player. In the single elimination format, you can face strong players and knock them out, or they knock you out immediately. Things like that, so kind of too bad for him that we had to face each other. I'm going second. This mulligan is very difficult. I'm not running that many 2-drops in my deck. I'm running 2 Lurchin Corpse, 2 Spartor Sergeant. No, I'm running 3. 2 Lurchin Corpse, 3 Spartor Sergeant, 1 Soul Squeaker, and 2 Lirio, or something like that. Something around those lines. Pretty sure I'm only running 7 cards that are playable proactively on turn 2. And I want to dig for those as much as possible. I'm going second, so I get 2 draws and then a third one. But 3 cards, it's not that likely to draw a 2-drop, so I want to toss as many cards as possible. Catacomb, you play on turn 3 going second, which if the opponent has a Blazing Breath or something, it's really bad. And so you likely don't play it on turn 3, and if you do have a 2-drop, then it's just as good as Bone Chimera, because you get 2 skeletons from the effect. So I chose to keep Bone Chimera and toss the Prince of Catacomb. Necro Assassin is a very strong card in this versus Dragon matchup. However, you usually don't play it on turn 4 unless you're facing like a Rahab, and even then you can probably Evo over the Rahab since it doesn't have that much attack, and save it for later Bahamut or Israfil or something important like that is very hard to remove. The opponent kept 2 cards. It randomizes, so you can't keep track of them very well, but he kept 2 cards. Going first is Dragon. I'm guessing that he kept Blazing Breath, Zell, Isla, Grimnir, Dragon Oracle, things like that. And he has a Zell. Ooh, lagging a lot. And I don't draw a 2-drop. I drew again into Necro Assassin, got a Cerberus and some other cards. So I drew 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards. Didn't get a 2-drop. Kind of unlucky, but yeah. Tried to get the odds in my favor and so didn't draw it, so that's too bad. Next turn, Orthrus seems like a good card with these 2 targets here. And also looking at my opponent's deck, he doesn't have that many strong plays on 4, and luckily he didn't have anything to play. So it's very curious to see what he was actually keeping in hand. For example, maybe he's keeping something like Sybil or Breath of the Salamander and he doesn't want to play it yet. Those seem kind of likely. I would guess maybe Breath of the Salamander at this point. Here I play Orthrus Evo, and then it creates 2 threats. He didn't have a Blazing Breath in hand, so it's likely that one of these lives, and then I can push more damage again the next turn. So it's not looking that bad. Looking pretty good so far. My opponent's playing a pretty top-heavy list with 3 Sahakyo, 3 Ouroboros, 2 Israfil, 3 Bahamut, 3 Zeus. That's the top end. And it seems like after the game, I'm pretty sure it's gonna guess that it was Civil that was kept in it. And he trades into the skeleton. 3-1 versus 3-2. The 1 health probably doesn't matter, but I could Evo face with this, so he chose to take that one instead. And here I could either Evo Suicide the Cerberus, or make a stronger board with Necro Assassin. And I chose to do Necro Assassin here. Alternative plays were, yeah, Cerberus trade, but it only set up, so at the end of the turn I would have Kokomimi in hand, and a 3-2 on board, and 1 less Evo point. Whereas with Necro Assassin, it's much more tempo because I have 2 3 attack followers on the board, and if he wasn't able to clear 2 followers the last turn, then he most likely would have done that if it was possible. It's likely that I'll survive, unless he has a Sahakyo, of course. Sahakyo's very likely. So if I was predicting a Sahakyo Suicide might have been better, but Necro Assassin is just a lot more tempo. However, it might have been better to keep it for larger targets. Yeah, my opponent is playing 3 Zeus, so that might become a problem later in the game. Has the Sahakyo into Israfil, which is the worst target for us. Now we know there's an Israfil in hand. Here, instead of a Serb Evo, I go for Death's Breath Evo. Death's Breath Evo creates a much bigger board. Can't Israfil until turn 9, so it's just it's good to make a wide board before they can get that. Ouroboros, very annoying. Very annoying. Evos it as well. So the options are and I top deck this Soul Conversion. Options are Bone Chimera Necro Assassin, which isn't very good against Israfil. There's Lurchin Corpse, Soul Conversion, Bone Chimera. I think I ended up doing Serb, Suicide, Double Buff. I think I did that instead. Serb, Suicide, Double Buff, or Buff, Shoot, or those are the options. I don't quite remember what I wanted to draw. I don't have Iktar yet. I don't have Iktar, I don't have Zombie Party, Prince Catacomb. I just wanted to set up a durable board. Here, this sets up for Israfil pretty well. Evo face, unless he has another Sahakyo, can push a lot of damage. And he plays out Israfil. I'm not sure about this play. My opponent doesn't play like lightning blast or anything. So maybe it was impossible to clear. Maybe he had Breath of the Salamander, but he didn't want to shoot that. It wasn't that scary. Definitely didn't have Sahakyo. Here, the obvious looking play is Necro Assassin on Chimera. However, I went for a little bit more sneaky Bartoy Sergeant into Necro Assassin in order to keep the Bone Chimera intact. Set up for a Cerberus the next turn. It's likely he has something like Bahamut and Death's Breath into it. Doesn't look that bad. He has Grimnir. I really didn't like this play at all. Oh wow, the lag. It doesn't do that much clearing the board at all. It got rid of 3 and then added 1, so it only removed 2 power off the board. And if I had Iktar, it's lethal. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, with 1 zombie charging into, rushing into the Grimnir for lethal. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And, yeah. Doesn't play around Grimnir. Even Bahamut would have been better. Opinion. I decided to Cerberus. To just try to efficiently get rid of the Grimnir. And I wanted to use Soul Conversion, but I wanted to hit face with the skeleton first, instead of doing that. I decided to serve. Wow, it's lagging a lot. And Catacomb is a very nice pickup. Part I was looking. Now I can try to set up a board and then Catacomb, maybe Zombie Party Catacomb for example. And then I can Cerberus for lethal or things like that. Here, I am in a winning position, but I top deck the Orthrus and then Cerberus. I have just enough. There's also Zombie Party, of course. Also Zombie Party. That's lethal. Zeus seemed a little bit strange. Left followers on the board. The thing with my Shadow deck and mid-range Shadow in general is that it can't really deal damage from hand. It's open decklist, so he should have known that I didn't have any Storm followers, things like that. So kind of interesting to see him leave up followers many turns in a row. For example, the Evoed zombie from Death's Breath was kept alive, dealt 8 damage. A lot of damage. Cerberus is kept up at the and things like that. If you leave it up, then Orthrus gets value, Cerberus gets value, Iktar gets value, Hector gets value. So kind of strange, but yeah, we don't know what his hand was. Can't fully say that it was misplay, but I feel like most likely a mistake to leave those up. Get other options. Bahamut would have been good on a lot of those later turns. There's that 10 mana for here. I'm going second, I think. Keeping May Ancient. Normal. EPM is very good. 2 cards in hand. Kept 2 cards. So 1/2s, 2/2s, possibly Catacomb that you keep again. Of course. Play the May into the Skull Beast. It's one of the one followers that actually contests. Usually you see players going face on this turn, going first, and then maybe going into turn 3, trade or something. That sets up the threat of Prince Catacomb, so it's kind of revealing that he doesn't have it. It's not like I can guidance the Mei this turn, can't really punish it with the Sylvan Justice or anything like that. I have to trade in the next turn to play around Catacomb. It's not very good in my opinion to trade there. You might have gotten one free damage. I think he just missed. Bone Chimera patiently trades in. Let's play Grimnir here. It's likely next turn something. May Ancient Elf. Hidden or Ouroboros first. Like that are a little bit annoying. Catacomb is also annoying. Sets up a very wide board. 5 followers on board. It's perfect. Scary. So the options I have here are Ancient Elf Evo, Ancient Elf Pass, EPM Hit Pass, EPM Hit Play Out 0. I decided to go with playing out the 0 cost fairies after playing E. I wanted to fight with the board rather than with stuff in hand. That's a good rule of thumb. If you have two different plays that are very good, then go with the play that requires you to have a board to play out the follower before a spell. Things like that. Before using the effect, the immediate effect from hand, you want to use the effect that a follower on board. You can't punish having a big board this turn besides Shadow Reaper. And that's only punished by +1. So I decided to go with that play. However, he ended up having Shadow Reaper. Trades into plays out Lurching Corpse. And I really don't like this play at all. Evo is Shadow Reaper and then trade. Yeah, not that good in my opinion. I can just Evo a fairy. He knows I have a fairy from Fairy Circle that I didn't play. Things like that. These doesn't seem very good. And I top deck Sylvan Justice. Very good. I had to try to make a board as much as possible. The other option was Sylvan Justice, the Lurching Corpse, Evo into the 2 health thing, and then May Fairy. You would end up with May Fairy against 2 skeletons in Evo. But I decided to go for the 50-50. I end up with a 2. I probably, yeah, might have gone for the 75 as well. Might have been better. So if you compare those two plays, 50-50 chance to get like a strictly better board. This is better. However, Yeah, I might have taken the 75% and then the 66% would have been more than 50%, 100%. I think 66, 75%. So it's about the same actually. This was correct. And this guarantees that May is alive now. They're probably going to trade into it. But they don't. Really don't get why the only option is like sucks. Breath really sucks. Let's do some trades. Set up a ward. And I decided to make a 6-7 and then get a 66% to kill off a skeleton. This removes the most board and sets up a big board. Ancient Elf 5 and 6 health. It's a little bit different. You can trade in like one skeleton versus two, but yep, a little bit more board presence, and this was a good gamble to take. But if he has Iktar, you lose anyway. That's what ended up happening. The rest of this is decides to go for the damage instead of the value. And that's just it. Could have had like Gold of Forest and had a tank. Can't have that big of a hand. Very strong curve into Death's Breath, Star, Vector. Kind of difficult, almost impossible to deal with as Forest. A little bit unlucky. Not much I think I could have done in that game. But in the end, you kind of want those games more in the end, rather than games that you misplay and could have done better. I'm going second for the third time in a row. And here, I decide to keep all three. My only win condition against Dragon is Roach. With this specific deck, I'm playing OTK Roach. Very important to have Roach and Guidance. And EPM is very good as well. Decide to keep them. Opponent kept... wasn't... I think he kept one. Dragon Oracle. Kind of unlucky. But, I mean, it's gonna draw Dragon Oracle sometime. Passes turn 4 again. Did that another game as well. Just having a very top heavy deck, you're gonna draw like that more. Here, turn 4 options are like EPM, Evo, and then like I have to throw away 1/0 cost fairy, so I'm planning not to EPM Evo. And then he just tempos out a Sybil. Really strange. At this point, I'm guessing he has a second Sybil, because it doesn't really make sense to me that he'd play the Sybil out on turn 4 with the Dragon Oracle. See that he didn't ramp up with it. He really had nothing else to play, so pretty poor hand. Since here at EPM, and I have to throw out a Zero Cost Fairy. So trade, or Sylvan Justice, Fairy Evo trade in, 2 damage, or play ended up doing what Sylvan Justice may trade in. Play a fairy. This is the most efficient. You don't use an Evo point, which is 2 damage. So the chip damage you get with the Goblin Mage, you get back later turn to, and then very efficient. This is the most efficient. Decided to go for this. 6, he doesn't have very many strong plays. Let's play Salamander Breath, Breath of the Salamander. And here, now I have a good enough number of cards that I can play out Evolved EPM. The alternative was Fairy Circle, Glimmering His refill, 20 health, this card. And this is another difficult turn. So a good rule that you can follow is that if you have 9 cards in hand, you don't have to worry about milling a card if you're playing Ancient Elf, because in the end it's effectively playing out Ancient Elf and nothing else in hand if the other cards come back into your hand. If you have 9 cards, it's never gonna mill your hand unless you play a card that increases your. Then you have to count it a little bit more, but here I decided to go with Will of Forest. Seem a little strange. The other option is like May, Roach, Ancient Elf Evo, but that deals 2 damage, which wasn't nearly enough for me. Yeah, it just wasn't enough at all. My bounces were Guidance and Ancient Elf, so I wanted to fully utilize these. Set up for a kill turn later on. You play out the 0 cost, and May and Roach, and then Ancient Elf, 4, Evo 6, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 again with Guidance instead of Ancient Elf. Things like that is possible if you keep doing 2 damage. I played Will of Forest. Hey, so he can't play Israfil yet. Most annoying card is Boros. This game was insane. He had an insane curve. Like everything. And now I got another Ancient Elf. So now I can go like 3 turns in a row of doing Roach damage. I just decide to pop the circle, not you're dealing less than 5 damage, then Israfil like it up. Just went for more damage. Some people would say like not very good. Maybe he would have done Reveal Evil anyway. second main. So I do kind of a similar turn. Very evil. Roach. No. And this does not set up for. Really wanna draw like second roach. The alternative was Mei Ring Wings, but Ring Wings doesn't set up doesn't use the board, so I thought it would be good to have it. I might be able to have bigger reach. Here, I get the second guidance, but he has an Injustice. So I'm hoping for something like Injustice. Not enough. By the way, if you use 2 guidance, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Play a 1 fairy first. One, and then 2, 4, 6. 12 damage. Next turn it would be 3. 15. And to draw all that stuff. Poke a little bit and kinda too bad. I did play the maze so that I could get Sylvan Justice. Would have been low HP. Very good. And top deck Golf Queen. This game was pretty insane. Pretty insane. I'm not gonna play anything else here. Then you play Zeus. Most likely this was his only removal. That's really weak against Grimnir. And I'm back in the game, just like that. Goblin Mage. I can Goblin Mage, Fairy, Roach Guidance Roach. That would be 10 damage. Getting there. If I play Goblin Mage, things like that, then maybe I can Fairy Circle, Fairy, and be more mana efficient. I can draw another Fairy Circle, or Sylvan Justice, and then maybe have lethal, another Roach. But he makes a large board, and here I go for making kind of resilient board and drawing at the same turn. Really wanted to see Fina earlier. And he has another Grimnir. This Grimnir hurt really bad. So my opponent has Ouroboros in hand. Could have another Zeus. Yeah, so even though Zeus isn't lethal, decided to play out fairies. Trying to make him play like Salamander, Breath of Salamander or something. He does, but after playing Draconic Fervor, and he played a Fervor the last turn as well. He already has a very large hand. I think think it's really questionable. He should be pushing face and playing Ouroboros out. I really think this was one of the weaker turns that really ended up costing him the. Get another Goblin Mage. I play double Phenom. Really wanted Estalia Aaron. Baha Baha. No evil points left. He's leaving like a body on the board. Very, very questionable. Maybe it was his own play. Like Bahamut might even have been better. Sacrifice these. And I top deck the Grimnir. This is a very big board. I guess there's very little comeback potential. Draw the Grimnir, and I'm back in the game again. Both of these Grimnirs have been better than Jungle Warden would ever have been. Really putting in work. Plays Bahamut, and so I played like 2 May. It's the second Lily. Very high chance of getting Roach. 2 Roaches left. Got the Roach. Circle Fairy. Then Roach. Guidance Roach. Insane game. Took a long time. I didn't draw any errands. Didn't draw my 1 Dance to Death. Didn't draw Lily until very late. The Grimnir put in a lot of work, dealing damage, clearing the board. Both of them did that. Insane. I the first match got pretty lucky, but really he had some weak turns with Draconic Fervor. That was very questionable. Now the next match. I played really poorly the next match. Game 1, playing Shadow against Dragon. It's a master player named Damien. That player, I haven't seen him. I might be. States? Expect. Playing an NGE. He's also playing Dragon Shadow. Pretty good starting hand. Lurching Corpse is with an opponent isn't playing Blazing Breath. Decklists are revealed again. So I just kept the 2-3. If I have another 3-drop, then I go have to play it on 3. I can play like a 2-2 on 3. So, felt like he would suicide into the Lurching Corpse, and I wanted tempo. Wanted that 1-1. I played the Prince Catacomb. Here he plays Ayla after Ayla and then, so he really wanted to ramp that turn. Kind of strange. Most likely he has a 5 Fervor or Sybil. Sybil doesn't get the effect. Maybe Rahab, he just wanted 1 more, but the cost of like 2-1, I think it's worth it, so really strange. I hit in soul conversion and then get that tendon. I was planning to play something like Catacomb. This is much stronger. Now trade in and then Evo in. Instead, he has another really weak turn. So I decided to play Orthrus. Other options are like Cerberus, Evo Face. I really don't think I played the rest of the game very well. My hand is very, very good. My opponent didn't have a very good hand. They didn't ramp too much. Really trying to get to more mana, it seems. Sahakiel and like common not playing. Other cards are likely. Yeah. My game plan is to set up Death's Breath into Hector and or like Bone Chimera Catacomb into Hector. Just try to win from there. So with this Evo, he can't full clear very easily. And he has the Sybil. So I do need to kill. And this is the turn I make my first big misplay. So you can either Cerberus Evo, and then buff up a dude, go face. That deals a lot of damage, but doesn't quite set up Hector. But it might have been better. I might play like Bone Chimera, Prince Catacomb. Might have been better. But I decided to go for the bulky board and set up lethal next turn. Bone Chimera, Prince Catacomb. Trade in, and then make a really big misplay of Evoing Bone Chimera. Really bad. I lose a skeleton there. Plays Lucifer, pass. Really strange turn. I should have won the game. Then I mean I have a full board, he's at 15 IPR. Thought it was lethal, but about to not be lethal. It's off by 1. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And trade in 1, Icar face, and then like realize it isn't lethal. How awful. Really awful. I have that many alternatives? Not really. So it was still okay. I wouldn't have played Death's Breath that turn anyway. I think it ended up being okay. Like it was the correct play. But and if this was the Bone Chimera, it would have popped with like 3 skeletons or something, and it would have been insanely strong. Yeah, really bad. And then here I make another huge misplay. I tried to trade with the Attendant of the Night. Like I need to draw first, and then I can trade with the Cerberus or whatever, and then no, I can't. Really awful, just awful. So the alternative there was 5, and then 679. Don't think I had the Skull Beast in hand. I even hit the Israfeel. Shooting face would have been okay. That would've set up the Lich lethal. It's not gonna happen. And he has a Forte. Just lethal there. 12 and then a 7. Awful, just awful. His reveal you need to deals just as much damage as like a Bahamut. I had a good hand. Okay, but it's needed to kill the. Was I in a good spot? Not really, I guess. But it's definitely winnable. Very winnable. At the next. I miscounted, but I wouldn't have really. It's good to know. Felt like I was playing really poorly, but I just believe I'm going. Keeps all three. Going first. So I'm expecting the also. Yep, 3 cards in hand, didn't have a 1. This wholesale's. This game was pretty straightforward, I believe. Good value trade. This is one of the turns I want to about. Scobie's Catacomb for sure. And then I was debating over trading it. It ended up having Fencer. It creates a much bigger board, and if it has anything other than Flora Fencer, then it's very annoying to deal with. It was okay. And like, I didn't want it to be ignored. That's the reason. Like, I knew Flora Fencer gets a value trade in, but I just didn't want it to be ignored. Probably the biggest thing. Here, creates it at a 2/2 and then goes face. Allowing me to get some value trades. I don't think that 2 damage is worth it. I think it's very good. Here I trade. Had to come into 4-1. Don't play that. Now, then any evos. This seems kind of inconsistent. He went face last turn. Trade. It's not even turn 7 yet. Seems inconsistent. Here. Consistent play, I think. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people make that kind of mistake. Inconsistent plays. Value trading and then going face, losing value the next turn. Make up your mind. I decided to save the Yiktar. play the other stuff out. I'll play around Luminous Mage. Should I go for value? Thinking back, I could have saved this beast. Played Coco. This thing is that I can only make 2 zombies, and then I get value out of this as well. It doesn't take up a board slot. It doesn't set up Necro Assassin well. Can't use Coco this turn. This is the most value. Skull Beast into Hector is a pretty common. Fucky. Here, I should have drawn first. I wouldn't change most likely, but for assassin. And draw last. Probably not good. Double trades. Kind of bad, to be honest. Getting a lot of value. And I haven't pushed. But I get the Cerberus. And I decide to make it very difficult for him to clear. Can double trade and then 3, 4, 5 zombies. Almost no matter. You have to have a ward and a remove. Mid game, kind of. Maybe I should have tried to get an higher value Ikar. Hector only got 2 zombies, which is a lot, of course. And match 3. Real tilter. Forest against Sword is a pretty easy matchup. Depends on how good the Sword draws, how sustained their offenses, how much they can sustain their. Kept 3 cards in hand. Kept me. So this next turn, I draw Guidance. I was originally planning to do some trade in Aries. Ended up going with Lily. The next turn I can make Guidance Mate. I can even get rid of Grimnir. They didn't have Grimnir, so I don't need to. And I start getting a lot of guidances. If too bad. Fogged up my alternative was like guidance. Better to have board. That's the Geno. So I don't have a good guidance target now. I just decided to try to make a big board. Hope he doesn't have Lirio. He's only running 2. Full Sword Swing. Another option. I should have guidance. Hard to find a place to guidance. I guess like turn 3, I should have guidance. That's something I could. Double trade. Really annoying. Been a chance that I can't play anything this turn. Luckily I get like last draw. Draw road. The odds there, I played 2 Mei and 1 Lily. So I have 1 Mei, 1 Lily, 3 Roach left. So it's most likely going to be. So he trades into the 5-2 with the 2-2, and then sets up a floor fencer, and that could be. He could have Tsubaki? Possibly? And I wanted to save Evo point. I wanted to save the Evo point for turn 7, and then turn 8 I can Karen. Wanted to use up the guidance. Now my opponent. Another freaking guidance. I wish I could have guidance the fairy. On the full clear with the Will Fort. Full Sword Swing. Office Trooper. Felt that there was no need to Evo here. And I get punished for it. Somehow get punished for it. Ugh, wow. Pretty disgusting. Luminous Mage, really strong. Survives. If I Evo'd it, then he would have had to trade in his old board. Decide to draw. Then go with the EP. Now I could possibly have Roach Lethal sometime in the future if I did this play. Not playing the fairies, of course, I take more damage. However, he drew Grimnir, so it ended up being better not to play them. It's just getting a lot of damage in. A lot of damage. Very nice deck. So here playing out like Fairy Circle and Roach and Ancient Elf didn't set up lethal, so I decided not to play the Ancient Elf. Then yeah. plays that out, and again, I don't have lethal. I decided to deal like as much as possible, damage as possible. Get to draw a card as well. Board. Deal damage. And you get to Hang Plate Slayer. Oh, Maid Leader. Maid Leader. Grimnir. Pirates. It's kind of so I wanted to look back at those last few turns there, whether there was a safer play. Sometimes the safest play is to set up the lethal for next turn, because majority of the time your opponent's just gonna draw like a 2/2, but if they're top deck. So yeah, this is the review them along with the Shadow game. Had a lot of misplays. So the guidances kind of were clunky. Unica. Lily was correct. Ally trades. This is the first turn. I think for sure. First thing I could have done is guidance. Guidance fairy circle. Really weak. If he plays 2/2s, just like thing. Like some Deno isn't the most. It's the strongest. I think you make a board. And Grimnir can luckily like go over it. And again, I think you play out the fairy. I think you play out the fairy. Like, if you play fairy guidance, then you would have 0 fairies. And then it's like a Floral Fencer, then first. Even if it's a Floral Fencer, if he doesn't have 1 mana 1/1, which he already played one of, and you can guidance one of them anyway. You know, very good draw, probably the best draw. Yeah. Builds a big board. Turn as well. I think I played this. Just need to get rid of these guidance. Don't want to use full point. Get rid of a board. Oh, you didn't play double knock, if that's not. And again, I can't play guidance. Oh, wholesale swing.
隊長任せてください
So it must have been the wholesale swing. Doesn't make any sense to Evo here. Doesn't. It's next turn. So my plays are like Roach, Ancient Elf, Roach. Raiden, Roach, Evo, Elf. That's probably the same. But you can do that Roach, Guidance, Roach, and the 4-5. So he plays, draw another card, get a 1. I already played. I already played 2 main. I'm gonna draw. I'm gonna get rid of these guidances. Place them with the cards. Draw. So here, now I can... Roach is looking better now. Alternative is next turn. Roach, trade, and then go for board. Yeah, I guess my opponent can't win on board this game. They just can't. I shouldn't let him. Also kind of slow. If I don't draw the third mate, not getting rid of get rid of like a 2-1, he has 1-1s, and then just didn't want to get rid of the Roach. I have a Guidance, I have an Ancient Elf, 0 cost fairies. Well, the Forest is good. Then I played Fiend. So here might be a turn where I should have played like very Roach. Get a 5-6. Damage. Doesn't set up lethal. I wanted the 4-5 on board. But that was better. It's worse against Tsubaki, of course, so maybe Will the Forest, Fairy, Roach, Elf, out, or keep it in hand. I'd probably. Of course, Will the Forest is guaranteed. I feel like Gaifina here. Maybe play out those 0 fairies. You got so much damage. I think it makes sense to play Fina if you're going for Roach stuff. It's better against his Fangblade Slayer this turn. Kill it off with Roach. But safer. So I have to deal damage to him. I have to deal damage to him. Am I really gonna deal that damage into the pirate? Am I gonna deal 7 into the pirate? Even if I'm against like Tsubaki, Tsubaki's goes face, I can set up another ward. If he doesn't clear this, then it's lethal. Clears this, then win with Grimnir. Approach number 3, number Baron's win. Like, usually can't even clear the ancient. I think it was correct. I don't know. Even Tsubaki, if you went face, got greedy. Uh, yeah. I think that one might have been okay. That was NGE week number 3. Could have played safer, but 7 damage into a 3/2 for a 1-2 card win when like everything else is a instant win. Then this first dragon loss, I could have survived at least. Could have gone more. This first game, Shadow against Dragon. Just the and dealing all the damage with I think it was necessary to play Ikto. I didn't have Lurching Corpse or Necros, so it was hard to deal with that loose. And I think it was the even if I didn't miss. It was the right play. Just the is for filter. 10-5 on board. Definitely 12-5. I had 8 mana. That's the only option. Cerberus. Go up the skeleton and reface. at like 7. Up a 3-1 on no target. I think I had a Death's Breath in hand. Played comment of out of I don't want that. Cool. Thanks for watching. It's kind of sad. Yeah, scrub out round 2. That's my review. Open NGE Open.